Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk to you about 5 things that I wish I knew when I started backpacking. So stick around. Getting into backpacking can be both exciting and intimidating. And so today I wanted to talk about some tips and tricks that I wish I knew when I was a beginner. And the first one of those is that your gear is personal. So it doesn't matter how highly rated or highly recommended a piece of gear may be. It doesn't mean that that piece of gear is going to necessarily work for you. When you're purchasing gear for the first time, you need to take several things into consideration. Where are you going to be backpacking at? What fits you? What is going to work for what you want to accomplish? Make sure that you're doing the proper amount of research and that you're getting the pieces of gear that are going to do what you expect them to do. Sometimes it's best to make the trip to an REI or to an outfitter, to put your hands on that gear, to try gear on, to make sure you're spending your money wisely. Tip number 2, budget gear is a favorite of everybody's. I like to save money as much as the next guy when it comes to spending money on gear. And some budget gear is worth the money. Some budget gear is not. But budget is not always bad. I personally own some budget gear that I use on every single trip, and it has never failed me. But I've also purchased some budget gear that wasn't so great. The lesson to learn here is that looking into gear, you don't have to pay top dollar. You don't have to buy the most expensive piece of gear in order for that gear to work. Tip number 3, and this is one that took me a while to learn too. You can be comfortable backpacking. I know there's an element of embrace the suck, and that there are certain things that are going to be uncomfortable when you're in the backcountry. But for the most part, you can avoid a lot of that. For example, for a long time I used even a simple foam sleeping pad and never really spent the time or the money to look into anything different. Years later, I found out that being a side sleeper, I didn't have to sacrifice good sleep on the trail, because if I got a 3-inch or 3.5-inch air pad to sleep on, I could sleep as good or better than I did at home. Coming up to present day, where I've switched into a hammock and get fantastic sleep on the trail. The lesson learned here is that you do not have to be uncomfortable. If you're not sleeping well, if your backpack is uncomfortable, if your feet are hurting while you're backpacking, they're all things that can be resolved. And there's answers to all those questions out there. Tip number 4, and I see this still today. I wish somebody would have told me to avoid things like cotton. No cotton at all. Denim. I still see people hiking in jeans. You want to avoid materials like this when it comes to your backpacking clothing. Cheap cotton socks. They're going to absorb water, they're not going to wick moisture, and they're going to make your trip a lot less comfortable than it could be. It's important to invest into things like wool and polyester for your backpacking clothes. These are going to keep you drier, happier, and they're going to make your experience on trail a lot better. Tip number 5, you do not need big, giant, heavy leather hiking boots. That is something that people thought for a very long time. I even had more than one set of a solo hiking boots that I wore for years. They do last for a really long time, but they're heavy. When they get wet, they do not dry out quick. And I had switched into these Altra trail runners in 2017, and I've never looked back. These are lightweight, they have excellent tread on the bottom, and they dry out extremely quick when they get wet. And your feet are going to get wet. And due to shoe technology now, There's all different kinds of trail runners available for you. So you can find a pair at a great price that works for you, and you can ditch the big leather hiking boots. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope these tips help you to make your backpacking experience better. If you did like this video, I would really appreciate it if you guys would hit that thumbs up button and give this video a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe, as I'm going to be trying to put out a lot of content this year of trips, tips, and gear reviews. And until next time, guys, remember to hike your own hike. See ya.